Hey guys, so what I'm going to talk about today on the Alpha Blog, I'm going to talk about the three pillars of training, the three fundamental principles that everybody needs to follow and apply to be successful. So number one, before someone can execute and add intensity to their training, first and foremost, number one, they need to have mobility, the ability to move freely or put yourself into position. So if you don't have any mobility, you can't execute movements, you can't add intensity. So if you don't move, you don't train. You need to spend time getting your ass moving into these proper mechanical positions before you start overloading them. Number two, execution. Basically how you do movements, learning how to do them properly, learning how to do them at a effective level. So if you don't move, if you don't have mobility, you don't execute. Execution requires, muscular bracing, obviously learning all of the different stuff. Every movement's different, so bracing techniques and positioning and movement execution, there's a lot of things to think about, so you can get pretty in-depth in the execution category. So you don't see too many people going to your average gym and training at a high level of execution, and that's just basically for lack of knowledge, and they've never been actually shown or awakened to the possibility that they could be possibly doing things a little bit inefficiently. So last in line is intensity. Intensity does not get applied unless somebody's mobile and somebody can execute. Once you do the first two, you get the last one. You don't want to do skipping everything into just being intense. So, a lot of exercise programs, they lack in mobility and execution, and they just apply a ton of intensity. So, have people work really hard, not being able to move right. It's just a recipe for injury. I'm not picking apart CrossFit, but, if they don't work on the mobility, which CrossFit is very good about doing mobility, you will reduce your injury rate, So if you have high mobility and you train at a very executably high level, you can add intensity to that, you're all set. So you get those three things, you get them basically in harmony, and shit will happen for you. You'll be able to change at a far more rapid rate than someone who is battling one or two or all three of these things throughout the whole process of what they're doing. So don't get your shit backwards. Don't add intensity until you have mobility. Learn how to execute your movements, then add that intensity in. Alpha Blog, check it out, dedicateanddominate.com.